Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, giving everything you have, and still somehow disappearing in the process? Like your effort is expected, your strength is assumed, and your silence is mistaken for weakness. You show up for everyone else, but when you pause and look around, it feels like no one is really looking back at you. If that feeling sounds familiar, this message is for you. What if I told you that feeling invisible isn't a flaw in you, but a signal? A signal that you've been strong for too long without being supported. A signal that you've been pouring into others while slowly emptying yourself. Most women don't lose themselves all at once. They disappear in small, quiet ways, one sacrifice at a time, one unspoken need at a time. But here's the question that changes everything. What happens when a woman who has always stayed silent finally sees herself? Not through the eyes of others, not through approval or praise, but through truth. Because the moment you stop waiting to be noticed and start choosing yourself, something shifts. And that shift is powerful, uncomfortable, and life-changing. Stay with me, because by the end of this message, you won't just understand why you feel invisible. You'll know exactly what to do about it. Feeling invisible does not mean you are insignificant. It means your value has been expressed in ways the world is not trained to applaud. Many women grow up learning that being helpful, patient, understanding, and selfless is what makes them worthy. Over time, this conditioning turns into a habit of giving without being seen, serving without being acknowledged, and staying quiet even when the heart is full of words. When no one notices, the mind begins to lie, telling you that if you were truly important, someone would see you, choose you, appreciate you. But invisibility is not proof of insignificance. It is often proof of depth. Some of the most powerful things in life operate quietly. Roots grow underground before a tree ever rises. The strongest foundations are hidden beneath the surface. In the same way, many women carry wisdom, resilience, and emotional intelligence that cannot be measured by attention or praise. You have held families together, kept peace in chaos, absorbed emotional weight, and still showed up the next day. That kind of strength doesn't announce itself, and because it doesn't demand recognition, it is often overlooked. But overlooked does not mean unimportant, it means rare. When you feel invisible, it's often because you've been consistent, dependable, and strong for too long without support. People stop noticing what they rely on. Your presence becomes expected instead of celebrated. Your effort becomes assumed instead of acknowledged. This is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of how deeply others trust your strength. The danger begins when you start measuring your value by how much others notice you. The moment you let the world decide your worth, you hand over your power. Insignificance is not created by silence. It is created by self-abandonment. When you stop listening to your own needs, when you dismiss your emotions, when you convince yourself that your pain doesn't matter because others have it worse, that is when invisibility turns inward. But even then, your worth does not disappear. It waits. It waits for you to recognize it again. It waits for you to stop shrinking and start honoring the woman you've become through everything you've survived. There is nothing small about endurance. There is nothing weak about empathy. There is nothing insignificant about a woman who keeps going despite feeling unseen. You are not invisible because you lack value. You feel invisible because your value has been poured into places that did not know how to hold it. The truth is, the moment you stop asking to be noticed and start standing in your truth, the energy shifts. Not because the world suddenly changes, but because you do. Women often carry emotional labor that goes unseen and unappreciated, not because it lacks importance, but because it has been normalized. Emotional labor is the quiet work of remembering, anticipating, soothing, adjusting, and holding space for others. It is noticing moods before words are spoken, preventing conflicts before they explode, absorbing tension so others can feel comfortable, and carrying responsibility that has no clear beginning or end. It is invisible because it happens in the mind and heart, not in places where applause is given. From a young age, many women are taught to be emotionally available, nurturing, and understanding. They learn to read the room, manage emotions, and prioritize harmony. Over time, this becomes an unspoken expectation. You become the one who remembers birthdays, senses when something is wrong, keeps relationships together, and supports everyone during their weakest moments. Because you do it so well, people stop noticing that it costs you energy. They see the outcome, not the effort. They enjoy the peace you create without asking what it takes to maintain it. This unseen labor becomes exhausting when it is not balanced with care in return. You may feel drained without knowing why. You may feel resentful but guilty for feeling that way. You may wonder why you're always tired even when you haven't done anything physical. That's because emotional labor is real work. It requires attention, patience, and emotional regulation. It asks you to put your feelings aside to manage someone else's. When this becomes one-sided, it slowly erodes self-worth and creates a sense of invisibility. The pain deepens when this labor is taken for granted, when your emotional support is expected but never acknowledged, when you are relied on but rarely checked on, when your strength becomes a reason others stop protecting you. This is where many women begin to feel invisible, not because they don't exist, but because their inner work is never named. Silence becomes a habit. You continue giving because you don't want to disappoint, because you care, because you've been taught that love looks like sacrifice. But there is a difference between love and self-erasure. Carrying emotional labor without boundaries does not make you more valuable, it makes you more depleted. You are not responsible for regulating everyone else's emotions at the expense of your own. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. Your empathy is not an obligation. The problem is not that you care too much, it is that you have been carrying too much alone. Recognizing emotional is the first step toward reclaiming your power. When you name it, you stop gaslighting yourself. You stop believing that your exhaustion is imagined or that your needs are excessive. You begin to understand that what you do matters, even if it has never been thanked. And when you begin to value this part of yourself, you naturally start protecting it. You choose where to give, how much to give, and when to rest. You stop pouring into places that only take and start honoring the woman who has been holding everything together quietly. Inner strength is built in silence long before it is recognized, long before anyone claps for you, long before your resilience is praised. You are tested in moments no one sees. It is built in the quiet decisions to keep going when you feel exhausted, in the private tears you wipe away before facing the world, in the nights you lie awake carrying worries that have no simple solutions. This kind of strength is not dramatic or loud. It forms slowly, layer by layer, through endurance, patience, and survival. Many women develop their strength not by choice, but by necessity. Life places responsibility on their shoulders early, and they learn to adapt, to endure, to be dependable. When there is no one to rescue you, you become your own support system. When there is no space to fall apart, you learn to function through pain. Over time, this builds a quiet resilience that becomes part of who you are. Others may see you as calm, capable, or unshakable without realizing the storms you have learned to navigate internally. Silence does not mean weakness. Silence often means focus, self-control, and emotional intelligence. It means choosing progress over drama, healing over attention, and growth over validation. While others speak about what they want to become, you are doing the work in the background. You are unlearning patterns, rebuilding confidence, and strengthening boundaries without an audience. This is where real transformation happens, in the unseen moments where no one is watching, and quitting would be easy. The challenge with silent strength is that it can make you feel invisible. Because your growth is internal, people may not notice how far you've come. They see the stable version of you and assume you've always been that way. They don't see the fear you faced, the doubts you overcame, or the habits you had to break. And when your strength is not recognized, you may start to question it yourself. But just because others don't see your growth doesn't mean it isn't real. Recognition is not what creates strength. Strength exists before recognition ever arrives. It is forged in discomfort, in uncertainty, in moments where you choose to stand instead of collapse. The woman you are today is not an accident. She is the result of countless silent victories. Each time you showed up despite feeling unseen, each time you kept your integrity when it would have been easier to give up. Each time you chose healing over bitterness, you were building something powerful inside you. Your inner strength is already proven, even if no one has named it. It does not require permission, applause, or validation. It lives in your ability to keep evolving, to keep choosing yourself, and to keep moving forward with dignity and self-respect. One day it may be recognized, but even if it never is, it remains yours, unshaken, unbreakable, and deeply earned. Self-worth must come from within, not from external validation, because the world is inconsistent in what it gives back. Applause fades, attention shifts, and approval is often conditional. When your sense of value depends on how ears respond to you, your confidence rises and falls with their moods, opinions, and limitations. Many women are taught, directly or indirectly, to measure their worth by how useful, desirable, agreeable, or needed they are. Over time, this creates a quiet dependency on being chosen, praised, or approved in order to feel enough. External validation feels good, but it is unstable. One compliment can lift you, and one criticism can undo you. When your worth lives outside of you, you are constantly adjusting yourself to earn it. You overgive to be appreciated. You stay quiet to be liked. You tolerate disrespect to avoid rejection. Slowly, you begin to trade authenticity for acceptance, and in that trade, you lose connection with yourself. The more you seek validation, the further you drift from your own truth. Inner self-worth is different. It is not loud or performative. It does not require an audience. It is the quiet knowing that you matter, even when no one is watching, even when no one agrees, even when no one thanks you. It is rooted in self-respect rather than approval. When your worth comes from within, you stop negotiating your value. You stop proving yourself to people who cannot see you clearly. You begin to choose alignment over applause. For many women, building inner self-worth feels uncomfortable at first because it requires unlearning. You have to unlearn the belief that being needed is the same as being valued. You have to unlearn the habit of explaining your LF to be understood. You have to unlearn the fear that setting boundaries will make you unlovable. But each time you honor your needs without guilt, you strengthen your relationship with yourself. Each time you say no when your body says no, you reinforce your worth. When self-worth is internal, rejection no longer defines you. Criticism no longer destroys you. Being unseen no longer makes you question your existence. You still feel emotions, but they don't control your identity. You stop chasing people who only value you for what you give. You stop shrinking to fit into spaces that were never meant to hold you. You start choosing environments, relationships, and goals that reflect how you see yourself. This shift changes how you show up in the world. You speak more honestly. You rest without apology. You walk away from what drains you, even if it disappoints others. Not because you've become cold, but because you become rooted. You understand that your worth was never something to be earned. It was something to be remembered. The moment you stop asking the world to tell you who you are, you begin living from a place of quiet confidence and self-trust that no opinion can take away. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It is necessary for transformation, especially for women who have been conditioned to put everyone else first. From an early age, many women learn that love means sacrifice, that being good means being accommodating, and that saying yes makes them valuable. Over time, this conditioning turns into self-neglect. Your needs become optional. Your dreams get postponed, and your limits are ignored, often by you before anyone else does. When choosing yourself feels wrong, it is usually because you have been taught to equate self-respect with selfishness. Selfishness takes without care. Choosing yourself creates balance. It means recognizing that you cannot pour from an empty place and still expect to feel whole. It means understanding that your energy, time, and emotional capacity are not unlimited resources. When you constantly give without replenishing yourself, resentment quietly builds. Exhaustion becomes normal. Joy feels distant. Choosing yourself interrupts this cycle. It is not an act of abandonment toward others. It is an act of responsibility toward your own well-being. Transformation begins the moment you stop betraying yourself to keep others comfortable. Each time you ignore your intuition, silence your feelings, or push past your limits to meet someone else's expectations, you reinforce the belief that your inner voice doesn't matter. Choosing yourself rewires that belief. It tells your nervous system that you are safe with you. It tells your mind that your needs deserve attention. This internal safety is what allows real growth to happen. When you begin choosing yourself, resistance often appears. People who benefited from your self-neglect may question your change. They may label you distant, difficult, or changed. The S is not a sign you are doing something wrong. It is a sign that the dynamic is shifting. Growth disrupts familiarity. Choosing yourself means accepting that not everyone will understand your boundaries, but the right people will respect them. You stop living to be approved and start living to be aligned. Choosing yourself doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like resting when you're tired instead of pushing through. It looks like saying no without a long explanation. It looks like walking away from spaces that drain you, even if you once felt obligated to stay. These small choices compound over time. They rebuild self-trust. They strengthen identity. They create momentum. Transformation is not about becoming someone else. It is about returning to who you were before you learned to abandon yourself. When you choose yourself consistently, you reclaim your voice, your energy, and your direction. You begin to move through life with clarity instead of confusion, intention instead of obligation. The version of you that emerges is not selfish. It is grounded, aware, and deeply connected to her truth. And from that place, everything you give is no longer draining. It is genuine, powerful, and sustainable. If you have ever felt invisible, let this be the moment you stop waiting for permission to matter. Everything you have survived, every silent battle you have won, every time you showed up when no one was watching has already proven your strength. You were never meant to disappear to keep others comfortable. You were meant to rise, to be seen by yourself first, and to live from that truth. Now is the time to choose differently. Speak when your heart tells you to speak. Rest when your body asks you to rest. Set boundaries where there were none. Stop shrinking, stop apologizing for your existence, and stop delaying the life you deserve. The world does not need a quieter version of you, it needs a fuller one. Take one action today that honors you, one honest decision, one brave step, one moment of choosing yourself. And if this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a woman who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more messages that remind you of your worth, and comment with one promise you are making to yourself today. This is not the end of your story. This is the moment you step into it.